Yeah, I'm about my cash, I'm about my cash, I make it rain. I'm about my cash, I'm about my cash, I make it rain. I'm about my cash, I'm about my cash, I make it rain. I'm about my cash, I'm about my cash, I make it rain. I just wanna make some money.
I should have done this before, but I don't mind going live on our business page if you'd like.
Yeah, for sure.
I could go live right now. I've never done the live on the business page, but I'm gonna do it today for the first time. There's a good audience, almost 12,000 followers.
That's lit. Yeah, we in
there. Let me set that up right here real quick.
Yeah, that's straight.
First time.
We on the live. First time for everything. First time for everything.
They're chilling.
Yeah, it's a full circle movement always. You know what I mean? And I feel like those things been happening. I've been talking to my guy right here about manifesting and just how, like, you know, when you focused on things that you really want and you just every day just keep thinking about it and keep trying to do little by little, it just happens. It just comes together. You know what I mean? So
consistency.
Yeah.
Being consistent.
Just keep going, yeah. And having that energy and wanting to do it. I mean, you know, you gotta have love for it. You can't just do it to chase the money and stuff like that.
You gotta have that love. You gotta be passionate about it.
Yeah.
And it all comes together. You know, it all comes together. Shout out to everyone tuning in.
Facts,
What's going on, people? We're here at Fend Studios.
Fend Studios. Tristan Javon, your boy Nice, and we here. We got my boy RJ Installations here.
That's right.
So talk to us a little bit more about some of the challenges again that you faced over time and how the mindset changed.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say the biggest challenge was actually putting together a business and an operation. So a successful operation.
Right.
And when I say a successful operations is you know, posting on social media or posting a job afterwards is super easy. But getting that sale, you know, following up with your client, getting that sale, keeping your word as to the date that you're going out, being on time, being punctual with your client, executing the job. That's a very hard part. Executing the job and then following through with some kind of relationship afterwards. I would say that's been the biggest challenge, right? Is the operations and the putting together a successful system.
Right.
A system. Right. And I'm still working on it and I'll continue to work on it as long as I have to. It's not gonna stop.
I feel like there's so many adjustments now. It's like social media, like you said, is involved, and every day things are changing. Like 30 days from now, there'll be something else happening where you gotta make an adjustment. You know, you gotta get yourself on TikTok or get yourself on this platform, you know. So competition coming up, people seeing what you're doing, they want to get in and jumping on the competition.
Right. And you know, now that you mentioned that, I never see other businesses as competition, my brother. I see it as potential relationships. There's enough money for all of us to make out here.
There's definitely enough for everybody.
There's enough money for all of us to make out here. And in fact, if I see you as competition and one day we have to collaborate, because of that mentality, having that fist up, like you said earlier, having that ego, I might not reach out to you. But at the end of the day, if we collab, that might be the most successful project for us.
Right.
Reaching out is definitely necessary, you know, but you're blocking yourself from things like that.
I call that the crab in a bucket mentality. You know what I'm saying? If anybody ever seen crabs in a bucket, you know, like when they're all trying to get up to the top and the ones on the bottom are pulling them down, keep pulling each other down instead of putting them up.
Right.
Crabs
so
in a
they
bucket,
never get out. They stay stuck.
They never get up.
They stay stuck.
Speaking of being stuck and stuff like that, do you where do you get your work done at? Is your Merrimack Valley? Do you expand? How far have you gone and stuff like that?
So a huge strategy that I've used since day one is I need a huge demographic. Why? For example, the last 2 weeks, we haven't been doing work locally, even in Mass. For the last 2 weeks, we've been doing work mostly in New Hampshire and Rhode Island.
Nice.
So to answer your question, we covered Mass, Rhode Island, and New Hampshire. 3 states. And the reason being is I got to keep that volume going.
Exactly.
Right? Now, we're strategic about it, right? I said, well, if my guys are going to travel down an hour and a half, we have to be able to get a reimbursement for the commute, right? We can go out, we can get the job done for you professionally, but there's a cost to our travel time. You understand? So Mass, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, and we go out, we cover all 3 states and do what we got to do.
Awesome. Where do we find you? Like, if I wanted to install some cameras.
Absolutely. So
how do we go about?
The first thing you want to do is just Google search us. So you can go on Google and just put RJ Installation.
Man's on the Google search.
We should
just pop up.
Rank. I'm sorry. We should rank right up on your Google page. Right now we are just under 175 4.8 stars review.
Nice.
So that's been tough to get those reviews because they've been all organic. I never believe on going out paying a Chinese company to leave me fake reviews.
For sure.
I need real organic.
That's facts.
Because word of mouth, it travels. It goes faster.
We got to keep it organic. And honestly, if I deserve a 3.5 or a 3-star review, then we should have 3 stars. But you know, based on the audience, based on the previous jobs, based on a client's experiences, these have been the reviews. So I that's my point as to making sure that they're organic. I don't want to put out there 5-star reviews. In reality, we're putting out 3 stars worth of work. Quality.
Right.
I mean, that shows the truth always comes out.
Right.
Speaking of keeping organic stuff like that, so how you go about hiring people? Because you know they are representing you, and they are the ones that are going to get the stars and stuff like that.
That's a
great question. I've been very fortunate to have guys that also have recommended each other. So right now I have 3 guys that have recommended each other have been extremely good. One of my other all-star players, Francis, he, for example, he came out to the shop when I was back in Methuen. I had a small 200 square foot office space. And I think he heard from us via a family friend who follows us on social media.
Okay.
He came from DR. He had recently just come from DR. He had that experience from DR doing cameras, low voltage, access control. And he actually worked at the airport.
Oh, yeah.
So he came to the office like, hey, listen, I need work. This is my background. I'll be honest with you, I didn't even have enough volume. I didn't make enough money at the time to even hire him. But I said, you know what? I got to take that risk. I got to take that risk because, number one, I want to help him. And number two, he can help me help him. Why? Because of his experience. Right. So you're actually bringing something to the table. It's not just asking for, I wouldn't say a handout because you're working for it. It's not just asking like, hey, let me come in. But, you know, he brought something to the table and, he's now with us for 3.5 years. He's
That's
been,
dope.
Yeah, that's
Is this Francis the Flo or somebody else?
No. His name is Francis Peroso. He actually did the install here.
Okay. No. I was just all right. I was looking for Flow Design and stuff. I know Cisco put me onto him. But I don't know who. I don't know how to find him. I lost his numbers. I had some business for him.
Okay. Doing designs and whatnot, doing this.
Yeah. He made the Fend Studios design back in 2020. And I liked his work, and I'm trying to get those letters back, the same font.
Same font.
So I need the same font. So I've been trying to get in contact with him.
I
But I also got some more potential business.
One thing that could help, man, put his name on Facebook. You might find him on Facebook.
Probably,
But yeah.
We'll see.
And if you end up not finding him, I got someone.
Word, good looks.
The guy that put those signs up.
He does his thing.
Yeah. He puts together our shirts.
I'm pretty sure you probably built a nice network of people now since you go through the business.
For
sure, strong network, man.
That's the most powerful word when it comes to business. Is network.
Network will help you build your net worth.
Yes, 100%. And speaking of network, shout out to BNI. I am part of a networking group. I was there this morning at 6:30 a.m.
Nice.
And we meet from 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. every Wednesday morning. And what we do is we share referrals, we share each other's networks, and we give business to one another. Very good structure. And
See,
that right
lit.
there, networking is everything to a business. If you're not networking, you will get places, but it'll take you longer.
I do something similar to that because I'm the operations manager at the Southern Sea School.
Oh, nice.
And what I do for family nights, we like to do that. Everybody comes in, bring their business card, be like that. But we do work for work,
huge.
like, you know what I'm saying?
Work
like,
for work.
Back in the days, like farmers would trade tomatoes for this and for that. You know what I'm saying? So we try to get parents to, my house needs to be painted. Hey, I'm a painter. Oh, but I need. We try to get everybody.
And you'd be surprised. Like, let's say one of your students' parents. Let's say Danny. You'd be like, damn, your father does this for a living, or your mom owns a restaurant. How'd I know? Oh, damn, she owns this place. You know what I mean? So it's just, you never know. Number one, who you might impact. Number two, who you might need. So networking is huge because it's like when I've gone out there to put myself and the business out there, it's like I've approached people. Not on a sales mentality, but more on a let me get to know you. This is my name and this is what I do. And I've gotten a few people say, well, I've been looking for someone like you right now. Oh, I need your services at one of my properties. Or etc. So networking is everything. I would say it's the most important aspect.
I love networking, to be honest, because just the idea of meeting people, like you said, it's chopping it up, different ideas.
Yeah.
You always learning something. So
always.
I would love to be a fly in those meetings, man, because I'm always trying to just see what ideas are going and circulating with people. You know what I mean? But
the best thing, I would say, the best benefit that I get from networking is putting myself in an uncomfortable position, right? Because that's when you're able to perform your best. So when I put myself in an uncomfortable position in a room full of, wolves,
right,
I'm able to get that, rub that mentality, rub that energy off on me, and walk out of there a more powerful human being. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. So, it's all about growing. Growing yourself, growing your business, growing yourself too. You know what I'm saying? So, how do you go about setting pricing? How'd that come about, like thinking about pricing? Because, let me get this clear. My man is setting up cameras, but these are fire cameras. They're going in businesses, they're going in homes, but he's also doing entertainment systems, like whole entertainment, like TVs, fireplaces. Like, you got to see. We'll post it in the video. You know what I'm saying? Check that out. But, man, how you go about the pricing of it?
Yeah. So, like, for example, that has taken me a lot of time, and I'm still working on it.
Yeah, right.
The reason that it does take time is because you want to be in a competitive market. You want to keep yourself in a competitive market. And what I mean by that is you don't want to be the highest guy. You don't want to be the lowest guy. You want to be somewhere in the median, right? So in order to do that, you got to do your research. You got to do your homework.
Right.
You got to have someone reach out to competitors. You got to reach out to competitors yourself and request the service and go from there. You know what I mean? So you got to do your homework. At the end of the day, you can't just come up with a number and that's what I'm going to charge because that's what I want to charge. No, you got to do your homework and keep yourself on the median. Unless you're a top dog corporation that, you could care less about being the cheapest guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And you got to charge what you're worth, too.
Absolutely.
I mean, Nice talks about that. Like,
the pricing and everything, too.
You know what I'm saying?
You got to know your worth. So doing a lot of research and most importantly, making sure that the numbers make sense. If the numbers don't make sense, then it's not going to make you dollars.
Right.
And the reason why I say that is it has to make sense, meaning if I'm charging $500 for a service and 150 or 200 of that is going to a technician, I already got 25% of the pay going out. Another 20% goes to overhead. So fuel, you have personal liability. General liability insurances to pay. You have professional liability insurances to pay. You have fuel to cover. I mentioned fuel, but you also have workman's comp to cover. Right. Like there's a list of 7 to 10 expenses that come out from one job, just to make it there.
Right.
Just to make it there.
There's a lot that goes into making a business, and that's why you say it's not for everybody. Because when you're doing real entrepreneurship, there's a lot that goes into it. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Well, you got to check it real quick? No, you can keep going. All right, bet. So, how about this, right? Let's talk about, like, how do you set boundaries? How do you stand on business when you set boundaries? Because, and that's like broad, right? Because
I was going to say elaborate on that question.
When you have to set certain boundaries, you got, family members or friends, like, let me get a family member discount. And then you have boundaries where, you got to be firm on your business. You don't want to waste your time. People asking for free consultations and then they lead you down a rabbit hole, never get the work done.
100%.
Or somebody's like, yo, we're going to do big business together and it ends up all falling through. So
ends up all falling through.
Different ways you can set your boundaries, but how do you set certain boundaries?
So the way that I've set my boundaries is letting my work speak for itself. And the reason why I say that, I know that could also be a very broad answer, but letting the work speak for itself, meaning the quality of my work, you can see and you know what it can potentially cost. You know it's not going to be cheap. And I don't want to sound like ignorant or stubborn, but you see the quality. You see the quality of an item that you're going to buy, and you know it's going to have its price to it. Right. Whereas you see the quality of something maybe on a lower end or cheaper, then you know what you're going to buy. You get what you pay for. Right. So the way that I've set those boundaries is, number one, online presence. Number two, if it's a friend or family, they know what I do. They might follow me online. They might not. happens all the
Yeah,
time.
you know.
They might not, which is what it is. It is what it is, honestly.
It's always people
honestly.
outside who support you first.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, always.
100%, always. Your friends and family, in fact, I went through it for years. They're very doubtful of what you can do. Meanwhile, someone from the outside might believe in you much more because
a stranger off the street.
It's a stranger. So I've set my boundaries by letting that work speak for itself, and number two, knowing that it's a business. It's not. I'm not an owner operator coming to your house and hanging your, let's say, your TV or building out your wall, hanging up your cameras. There's a whole operation behind it, and everybody gotta get paid.
Right. Yep. Like they're not calling you like, hey, it's 9 o'clock. I need you to come over here and do this job for me last minute. Like,
nah, we don't even do same day service.
Yeah, see,
you know what I mean?
Setting your boundaries.
No, and that's setting boundaries. Right. And also, you know, with all due respect, friends and family, you take care of them as best as you can. But you know, it's always gonna be high.
I just feel like a friend or family member that's a real friend and really family is gonna respect what you do and have to go about it the legit way. Not like, yo, what's up? I know you this and that. I respect what you do. I know your job.
Yeah.
Real support.
I've been very fortunate. I have friends that since the beginning, I've been very fortunate. I have friends that since the beginning, the first day that they saw fireplaces out there, yo, come to my house. But, you know, I'm a good guy, so I'll be like, here's a discount without them asking for it. You know what I mean? So I want to make that very clear. It's not like friends and family are always asking for discounts.
No, for sure.
Sometimes you blessing the people you've been with.
Yeah, I'm real fortunate that the friends and family who have asked for services, some have never asked for discounts. They pay what it is. And some have, which I don't blame them for. You know what I mean? Right. Everybody trying to make $1, you know?
Yeah, of course. And it's like that too, because of course, you know, you want to be given sometimes, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, you don't want to be like Mr. Scrooge all the time and be like, no, money all the time.
No.
But like you say, you got to stand on business when you're trying to build, because you got other people who try to feed their families and stuff like that. You got to pay yourself, you know, you got to pay your business and stuff like that. So it's a lot that goes into it, right?
Have you got into like being like a vendor almost type thing, and how that's to go about like getting in budgets for and bidding for like public for the cities and stuff like that?
Yeah. That's a great question. So I'm actually in the process. Just 2 days ago, I got my state certification. It's called the SDO certification.
Nice.
As a minority business, I can now start bidding on these projects because lack of education. That's really what it is. I didn't know that you know, these large corporations, right? So let's say like the city of Boston, Massachusetts. Last year there was a budget of I think it was like $33 million. For audio visuals, $330 million for security cameras in the city, for audio visuals,
signs,
signage,
crazy.
All that. So out of these hundreds of millions of dollars, you know, the top dogs usually get it. And, you know, with all due respect, the top dogs are usually white companies, right? And they get most of it, right? And out of these $330 million, about 10 million went to Latino-owned companies, right? So that's where this certification comes into play. You got to have the education. You can't blame them for putting in all the bids. It's a whole process. In order for me to put in that bid for the city or a school or I don't know, the city hall, I gotta put together what's called a cover sheet. So I got to show them part of like our largest accounts, what we have as far as a portfolio. Right, you got to show them your portfolio and show them that you're actually capable of getting this done.
Right.
So you're basically putting together what's called a resume, maybe, and a proposal. Right. So it's not just an estimate. Let me send this out. It's about a 10-page document that you got to put together in order to bid on these projects. Now there are other opportunities out there to bid on, like, you know, Dunkin' Donuts, Advanced Auto Parts, retail stores that are opening, restaurants that are franchises, which thank God we've gotten a few, but that has been through hiring an electrical engineer who has the capacity of putting together a design, So this electrical engineer puts together a design as far as like where each camera is going to be placed, where each TV is going to be placed. I don't have the education, so you hire someone with that education. So what the process is, he puts in the bid, he puts in that whole portfolio for the restaurant owners, which are GCs, right? Your restaurant owner is not going to be reaching out to a drywall specialist, to security company, to your plumber, electrician. No,
right?
They hire a GC, and this GC has to put together a team of, I don't care if it's 50 or 55 contractors.
Right.
Your HVAC guy, you have your window glazer,
everybody.
You have your flooring company, you have your drywall, you have the guy that comes in and does the security cameras, you have your finish carpenter, which is the guy that comes in and does all the final details. There's a whole team and lineup that I'm still educating myself on and learning more.
You educating us right now.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Know what I'm saying? You letting us know. You bringing it on the show right here. That's what's up, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I love coming on this podcast, have people come on, because it's information. It's good education stuff that people kind of hear. You know what I'm saying? Again, starting a business is not easy, but it's definitely right there in front of you if you want to do it.
It's right there in front of you.
It's right there in front of you.
The first thing that we mentioned earlier today was, what's the hardest thing of starting the business? It's just the mentality, having that drive.
Right.
Let's say if I were to own a restaurant, I might not be so passionate. I might not be so successful, let's say, as I might be doing what I'm doing today, right? Because I'm very passionate about what I do.
Right.
Once I get out of here, I'm going back to my office. I put my son to sleep. Wifey probably gonna go watch TV. I love her to death, but I gotta get back to work.
You gotta get back to work.
I have dedicated days in my week, weekends that I dedicate just to my family, because you gotta have a work-life balance. Right?
I was gonna ask you that too, work-life balance, because you gotta have work-life balance.
You gotta have a work-life balance.
How do you have that work-life balance?
That work-life balance is tough when you're an entrepreneur, but you basically have to structure yourself. One more time, is just structuring yourself to the time that you want to allocate to work, the time that you want to allocate to sales, and the time that you want to allocate to family, right? So I put myself on a strict schedule. I work from 8 to 6 p.m. From 6 p.m. And on, my work phone is off. But once, I spend some time with my family and they're all resting, I get back to work. I get back to work. I go down to my office, and right now I still have, I think it was 8 tasks I counted before coming over here that I got to get done before I go to sleep. Because if not, it piles up to my day tomorrow, and it just, it becomes a, what do you call it? It just becomes, it throws me back.
It's a little setback.
Workload.
I like how you said that too. 8 tasks, because when you task it out, when you write it down and stuff, it helps you get through it. Instead of being like, I have a bunch of stuff to do and I get them, or try. You're never gonna get it done.
These 8 tasks are categorized, and they're also prioritized in a list.
Right.
So I just want to throw it out there for anyone who's thinking of starting a business, or anyone who just wants to maybe organize their personal life a little more. Microsoft To Do. Microsoft To Do. It's as simple as it sounds. Not even a calendar, not even Siri. Microsoft To Do. Check out that app. You can categorize your tasks. I have tasks already. I was looking today. I have tasks for June 20th. Because I told this client they're waiting on a construction to be done, and that's when I told my client I will follow up with you. Now that goes back to my organization and my structure. If I tell you, my word is my bond, right? So if I tell you I will follow up with you June 20th, and you as a client expected my call for June 20th, and I don't call you, that says a lot about me and my responsibility and my word, right?
Right.
So I want to stick to it. That task is on there for June 20th, and I make sure I make that phone call.
Nice.
If I don't write it down, I wouldn't make the call.
Yeah, that's
it's just
true.
in our nature. You know what I mean?
It's something like that too. It's small little business things. You know what I'm saying? Small business things. So let's talk about just a little bit, like, what does the next 5 years look like for you, and kind of like, what do you see for the future of this?
The next 5 years, really, what I'm looking to do is just really put the business into a system where I don't have to be present. And expand to where I can hire a couple more guys, more staff, and provide more to the community. Right. I want to really provide more to the community. So I have a goal of having between 50 to 100 employees, and about 25 vans. Even if it's a goal that's unattainable, I may be halfway there in 5 years, but if I don't have that big goal, that long-term goal, then we're not going to get anywhere.
Keep going.
You got to keep going. You got to keep going.
Yeah.
But, having that long-term goal, picturing it out, mapping it out, that's how you get there. You know what I'm saying?
Mapping it out, put it together. And, within that long-term goal, there's going to be 50 small tasks that got to get done. You know what I mean? So, you follow that rule book, you put together a plan, and you execute. Put together your plan. And the biggest thing is don't let anybody tell you can't. Before I quit National Grid, which was by far the best job I ever had, before I quit, my family was just like, this guy's fucking crazy.
National Grid's a good gig.
Crazy. Like, literally, this was a question they asked my mom. They wouldn't ask me because I fucking put them in their place. But they asked my mother, how many TVs does your son think he can hang? Why is he quitting his job? Close family member. Does he really think there's that many TVs out there to be hung?
Yeah.
Apparently there is.
Facts.
Apparently there's more.
There's way more than just TVs.
Show them wrong.
And it's more than just TVs. So to wrap it up, it's like one strategy that I used in the business is, well, at first it started mounting TVs.
Right.
But you got to strategize and know that that's going to slow down at some point.
Right.
So I said, all right, we got to start something new. I started building an accent wall myself at my house. I started putting together cameras at my house and just putting it out there, marketing it, right? But essentially, that's like the biggest thing is just expanding within that business, expanding to other services that could bring you generate more revenue. While one service is slow, for example, we haven't hung TVs in over 2 to 3 months. But we're busy with the other work. Luxury accent walls, home theaters, and most importantly, security cameras. So, you got to be able to pivot. You got to be able to know your niche, and identify it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
sir.
fine, yo. Yo, it's been a good podcast, bro.
I appreciate
it's been definitely a dope talk. I would say the last thing, if you got anything you want to say to the audience, to the camera, anything, last minute that you didn't say, you can say it now. Maybe you want to shout out your Instagram, people can find you and stuff like that.
Shout out to every single follower that we have on Instagram.
Facts.
Again, it's been an organic growth on that page. And it's just putting out our work out there. A lot of people go on to the Instagram pages and use it as inspiration for their build out, for their house. They might see it as very useful information, which I'm going to get very intentional about, is putting out more useful information to our audience. Meaning, did you know that, let's say our security system, you can identify human detection from vehicle detection.
Right.
Did you know that you can read license plates? Did you know that a fireplace actually throws out real heat? So it's more of like also educating and being able to pivot to step away from like the sales, the meetings, and focus more on the audience, right? Because Instagram has been everything for us. Yeah. From Instagram, the clients came in, the word of mouth came in, and now we're on a bit of a larger scale of getting work now from Google and online presence. But Instagram has been everything for us. Now, to your question earlier, do I want to say anything else? Yeah, I would just like to tell anyone that's listening to this podcast, man, to just believe in yourself. Right. Whether you're working for someone, whether you're working for yourself. Listen, Kevin and I spoke earlier. If you're working for someone, believe in what you're doing, work your way up the rope, and just know that get something out of it. Right? What I tell my guys is don't just come to work to put wires together. Learn the skill.
Right. Facts.
Know that you can take this somewhere else. And if you want to start your own business in the future, do it. Go for it.
Right.
Go for whatever you have in your mind. And don't let anyone tell you that you cannot, because had I listened to people, I wouldn't have been able to, make things happen as
follow
we
yourself.
have
Facts. That's facts. Kevin Garnett said it best. Anything's possible. You already know.
Anything's
championship.
Fuck the Celtics.
You know what I'm saying? We got Kobe in the back with the Lakers fan, but anything's possible. My boy, Ronny J, I appreciate you, bro.
Nelson, I appreciate you.
For real, it's Tristan Javon. Right, my boy Nice. It's ways to get the check. Make sure you follow, like, subscribe, on the YouTube page. And check us out every Sunday. We dropping episodes.
Thank you to the audience once again. It's been a pleasure being here with you guys. Thank you for inviting me. And a little secret, this is the first podcast I ever go out to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, fire.
And the reason being is I'm so focused on the day-to-day routine that I forget about moments like these. These are very important. Why? Because it helps me step back and realize what you have made happen.
Right.
What you have done so far. Right. I have a hard time realizing that because I'm real tough on myself. I look at myself in the mirror and I tell myself, you could be doing more. You should be doing more. Yeah. What are you doing wrong? Let's fix it. Let's go. Facts. Right? But moments like these, stepping in with rooms like guys like yourself and asking me these questions, it's like it puts me through that thought process like, oh, shit, this really happened? Yeah. You know what I mean? So I appreciate it.
Just the story you told starting off, that story was fire, bro. It's like, well, you know, they told me I was going to be laid off. I was the youngest manager, but she was like, go back to school. Bro, that's a story that was stick, bro.
Yeah. She told me to go back to school. I really didn't want to go back to school, but I said, you know what? Let me follow this sign.
Facts.
Yes, sir.
And it led you all the way, you know what I'm saying? My dog.
Appreciate you guys for having me.
That was dope. That was dope. Shout out to the IG right here.
Yes. Shout out to the RJ Installation page.
Yeah. Yo, that was a good talk, Ronnie, for real, because there was so much knowledge being dropped in there, man.